He said it himself in an interview, sitting completely still.
You ask me, I would love to stay until last day of my football, but I can't say much about that, not in my hand.
For words that told Liverpool everything. They just didn't want to listen. 3 years later, he was gone on a free transfer. The man who generated £500 million in commercial value for that club left for nothing. And the worst part is that this ending was written in 2021. Nobody saw it coming except him. This is not a story about a player who left. This is a story about a club that left its player first and did it so quietly, so slowly, and so carefully that by the time Anfield realized it was already 3 years too late. Before the contract arguments, before the free transfer, and before any of it, there's a number. 1 goal or assist every 100 minutes. 6 seasons. Every single game. Not Messi. Not Ronaldo. Not Mbappe. Salah. In the 2017-18 season alone, he scored 44 goals in all competitions, breaking a Premier League record that had stood for 26 years. But here is the number nobody ever quotes. Liverpool's win rate with Salah starting was 71%. Without him, it was 48%. One player, 23 percentage points. And Liverpool couldn't agree on his wins. May 2018, Kiev, Champions League final. Salah goes down in the 31st minute. Ramos, deliberate, calculated. Salah leaves the pitch in tears. That night, 74,000 people in the stadium, hundreds of millions watching at home, and the entire Arab world experienced something they had never felt at a champion final. One of their own on the biggest stage, taken down unfairly. He came back, 12 months later in Madrid. 2 minutes into the Champions League, final Salah scores. Liverpool win their 6th European Cup, and in that moment Anfield had its greatest modern player. That was the peak. And from that night, without anyone marking it in any calendar, everything that followed was quietly, slowly, and invisibly different. Summer 2021. Contract talks begin. 2 years remaining. Liverpool's position was simple. Wait and see. No urgency. For a player who had just delivered 6 of the most productive seasons in Premier League history. He said, I want to stay, but it's not in my hands. It's in their hands. I'm not asking for crazy stuff. The decision is not in my hands. Said by the man whose hands scored 213 goals for that club. Eventually a deal was done in May 2022 and a new contract was signed. But something had already broken. Something you cannot put in a press release. Something nobody could point to in a training session, but everyone in that building felt. And the language Liverpool used during those negotiations, the word they used in private was rant. That is the word they used about the man who gave them everything. Klopp leaves. The last thread breaks. May 2024. Jurgen Klopp announces he is leaving. The manager who took Salah, a player Chelsea had discarded, and turned him into the most consistent attacking player on the planet. Gone. And with him the last connection between Salah and the Liverpool he had given everything for. Mo Salah is one of the best players I have ever worked with. Full stop. Everything else around it doesn't matter. Klopp understood Salah, not just tactically, as a human being, as someone who carried the weight of 900 million people's expectations into every match. Arne arrived. Good manager. Intelligent, but not built around Salah. Under Klopp, Salah was the axis everything rotated around. Under Slot, he was one piece of a different machine. His numbers stayed remarkable. Because Salah's numbers always stay remarkable. 6 years of elite consistency doesn't disappear overnight. But the relationship was already somewhere else. The number nobody quoted. Here is what the highlight reels never showed you. In Salah's final 2 seasons, his deep progressive runs dropped by 23%. 23%. Not because he lost pace. Not because the goals dried up. But because a player who feels valued runs differently to a player who is waiting for something to end. The body knows before the mind admits it. And in the stat that nobody wanted to put in a press release. Liverpool's XG in the final 20 minutes of matches when Salah was substituted actually went up. The system was working better without him. The same stat that appeared at Chelsea with Lukaku. Now appearing at Anfield with Salah. And nobody said it out loud. June 2025. Mohamed Salah leaves Liverpool. Free transfer. 500 million pounds in commercial revenue. Number one shirt seller. 5 consecutive years. 213 goals. Left for free. Salah said, "I gave everything. You can ask anyone. I gave everything I had for this club. I gave everything I could. Everything." The word a player uses when there is nothing left to give. And he meant it literally. In 9 seasons at Liverpool, Salah missed fewer Premier League games through injury than any other outfield player in the club's history across a comparable period. Availability is a skill. And he gave him that too. While others rested. While others managed their minutes. While others protected their bodies for the big games. Salah played. Every week. Every competition. Every cold Tuesday night in a stadium half the world had never heard of. Because that is what giving everything actually looks like. And then, his final season. The season Liverpool won the Premier League. The title Salah had said was the one thing he wanted more than anything else. He scored 25 goals, 14 assists, in his final season. In the season they couldn't keep him. He won the league. He collected his medal. He celebrated with his teammates. And somewhere in the back of his mind, he already knew it was the last time. A man celebrating a title he knew he would never get to defend. The cop sang his name one last time. He walked to the corner flag, looked up, and in that look was everything that had gone unsaid between a player and a club for 3 years. He did not point at the badge. He did not cup his ears to the crowd. He did not gesture to the stands, or raise his arms, or do any of the things footballers do when they want to be remembered. He just looked, and in that look 9 seasons. Every cold night, every injury he played through, every contract conversation that went nowhere. The goals will be replaced. Football always finds another goal scorer. But here is what no transfer fee can bring back. 900 million people across the Arab world and Africa watched Liverpool because of one man. Every shirt sold in Cairo. Every Champions League final watched in Khartoum at 3 in the morning. Every child in Alexandria who learned to love football because of number 11. That is not a footballer leaving. That is a bridge between a football club and an entire civilization. And Liverpool let it walk out the door. For free. Because they couldn't agree on a wage structure. Mohamed Salah did not leave Liverpool. Liverpool left Salah. In 2021, he sat in an interview and told them exactly what was needed for this story to end differently. For words. Salah said, "I said what I said." They heard it. They just didn't listen. Anfield will have another hero. It always does. But there will never be another player who carried an entire religion, an entire culture, an entire continent's hope into the Premier League and delivered on every single piece of it. Salah didn't just play for Liverpool. He made Liverpool matter to people who had never heard of the cop. And they let him go. Never the same again.